Mr. Doran, do you have experience with something called Operation Fox Hunt?
I do.
Now, just at a very general level for now, what is Operation Fox Hunt?
Operation Fox Hunt is a global intelligence program, directed from the top of the Chinese bureaucracy by President Xi, and implemented by the Chinese police and intelligence agencies. Its purpose is to surveil, harass, coerce, persecute Chinese dissidents outside China, to persuade them to renounce their activities, which may be pro-democracy, for example, or to return to China to face trial, or if neither of those things are possible, to pressure them into committing suicide.
Mr. Doran, why does Operation Fox Hunt matter in your line of work?
Operation Fox Hunt matters in my line of work because I have a number of clients who have been targeted by Operation Fox Hunt activities, and my job has been to work with those clients to help them reduce the risk that they face, and to enjoy some degree of security in their lives outside China.
Mr. Doran, have you been retained by Mr. Guo as an expert in this matter?
I've been retained by Mr. Guo's counsel.
And did Mr. Guo's counsel compensate you for your work here as an expert?
I am receiving professional fees.
And do you know by now how much money you've been paid for your expert work here?
I could give you an approximate figure in British pounds, which is around 15,000 British pounds.
And those 15,000 British pounds, do they go to you or to someone else?
They go to me. That's my fee.
And are your expenses included in this 15,000 pounds?
Yes.
Mr. Doran, are your expenses included in the 15,000?
You mean my hotel fare, hotel bill, and no, they're not included, no.
You want to correct your first answer?
Yes, I correct that, yes.
Okay, and does your testimony here depend on whether or not we pay your bill?
No, not at all.
Your Honor, at this time we would like to have Mr. Doran qualified as an expert on the People's Republic of China, the CCP, and...
May I inquire on just two issues?
You may.
Sir, what is the PLA?
People's Liberation Army.
And that's the army for what government?
That's the Chinese military.
And so the PLA is under the control of the CCP, is that correct?
It's under the control of the Central Military Commission, which is controlled by the CCP.
And who sits at the head of the Central Military Commission?
Xi Jinping.
And so the PLA works for President Xi, is that correct?
Yes.
No objection.
He is so qualified.
Thank you. Mr. Doran, have you ever heard of a person named Miles Guo?
Yes.
And based on your expert opinion, Mr. Doran, does Miles Guo fit the profile of an Operation Fox Hunt target?
In my professional opinion, Mr. Guo is public enemy number 1 in China. He would be right at the top of the target list for Operation Fox Hunt.
And why would that be?
He has exposed corruption at the highest levels in China, which is extremely embarrassing for President Xi and his close circle. He's also advocated for democracy and freedom in China, which is intolerable to the Chinese Communist Party. And he has a social media following, which gives him a prominent voice and platform to advocate those views. So taken together, that makes him probably public enemy number 1 in China.
Before you were retained as an expert in this matter, had you heard of Miles Guo?
Yes, I had.
And was it your impression that he was an outspoken critique of the CCP?
Yes.
Were you aware if the PRC had in fact filed an Interpol red notice against Mr. Guo?
I was aware that a red notice had been filed.
Do you know on what date that red notice had been filed?
If I recall correctly, it was the 19th of April, 2017.
Are you aware if Mr. Guo having done a Voice of America interview?
Yes.
Did you watch that interview?
Not at the time, but I've watched it subsequently.
And what date was that interview done?
That was also the 19th of April, 2017.